Well, bore da pawb. Good morning, everyone. My name is Hugh Davis, and I work for e-sgol. And we're here this morning in collaboration with the Digital Resilience in Education team at Welsh Government and also the UK Safer Internet Centre to bring you this special assembly, not quite to celebrate Safer Internet Day just yet, because Safer Internet Day doesn't take place until next Tuesday, the 11th of February. Just remember that date, it's quite important, isn't it? So we're here this morning to do a bit of the groundwork and the preparation for that very important day. Remember, week tomorrow, Tuesday, the 11th of February. And I'm joined, thankfully, by someone much more in the know in this area than myself. He works for Technocamps, and he's also an ambassador for Cyber First, which, when you hear the companies that he works for, it makes you think straight away, doesn't it? This chap, he's in the know. He knows what he's doing when it comes to tech in general. So I'm very glad to welcome Mr. Dan North to join me. Bore da, Dan. Good morning. How are you today?
Well, Hugh. Thank you. I'm not too bad. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're here to guide us through these important messages about Safer Internet Day and the theme for this year, of course, being too good to be true. But I'll leave the rest of the content to you just in case I start stealing some of your lines. So away you go. Thank you, Dan.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Hugh. Okay, everyone. So, at Technocamp, Cyber First, e-sgol, the UK Safer Internet Centre, all of us this year, what we want is for this year's Safer Internet Day to be the biggest yet. Okay, so it is important that we recognize together all of the exciting and brilliant things that we're able to do online. Maybe you're someone who likes to play games with your friends, whether you're on Roblox or Minecraft, whatever you might play, you love playing things together. Or maybe you just like to use it to chat to your friends on different messaging services. Maybe what you like to do is use the internet to learn new things, and you spend hours and hours reading through Wikipedia and all of these different information websites. Or maybe you just like to sit back and watch some videos on YouTube and spend your time doing that. Whatever you might love to do, the internet allows us all to do these things together as a community. What things do you like to do online, Hugh?
Oh, I probably spend a bit too much time on social media, if I'm very honest. But I also like to go to BBC Sport, especially to check how Liverpool are doing. Just FYI, they're top of the league at the moment, Dan. But I'll leave that there.
Fabulous. So yeah, I had a very upsetting moment when I checked the rugby score on Friday night,
Yeah,
and that
it's
that
not
one.
always good news, unfortunately, is it?
No, that's the topic of today, right? The internet isn't always great. Um, Safer Internet Day is held every year around the entire world. Okay, it is held uh, in February, and last year, over 170 different countries celebrated the day. Now, we have lots of different technologies that can connect to the internet. Um, we have, well, obviously our phones connect to the internet, our laptops, um, our computers. Uh, Anything else we can think of, Hugh?
Oh, yeah, you've taken some of the ones that I would have thought of there, to be honest, and maybe a tablet as well. And I'm going to say my laptop, seeing as I'm sitting right in front of it here.
Absolutely, yeah. So tablets and laptops, they all these things, Chromebooks, they all allow us to open web pages, right? They allow us to connect to websites, but there's a lot more connected to the internet, such as our Alexas, our games consoles allow us to play with other people. Um, these days, we have nice headphones that can connect straight to services like Spotify, or maybe you've got a smartwatch which accepts messages from the internet. Or, as we said, your laptops, your phones, your tablets, and yeah, all sorts of other consoles. They all connect to the internet. So, Safer Internet Day is a chance for us to think of any worries that we might have about using technology and the internet. but it is also celebrating all the fantastic things the internet allows us to do. Now, last year, over half of the children in the UK heard about or joined in with Safer Internet Day. And our goal this year is to make that even bigger. But it is not just you, learners in schools around the UK, who are getting involved with this day. Loads of other people get involved too. The government gets involved, lots of different charities and sports clubs. The police are often part of it, and so are the companies who make your favorite websites like Google or YouTube and Microsoft and the people who make your favorite games like Minecraft and Roblox. All of these different companies get involved in this day because the internet is such a shared thing. It's important to all of us in the world. And so we all participate in this day. And by participating in this assembly, you are joining thousands or even millions of others in celebrating Safer Internet Day on the 11th of February. Now, the theme of Safer Internet Day this year, as Hugh said, is too good to be true. And what we're talking about is a very important issue online, which is scams. Now, Hugh, are you able to tell me what a scam is?
Oh, I can try. When I think of a scam, I might suggest that it's something to do with possibly someone trying to trick me into giving them money, possibly.
Absolutely, yes. So that is one of the most common types of scam, right? Where someone tries to con you out of some money. Now, a scam is just defined as anything where someone tries to trick somebody else to get something from them. Now, that trick could involve getting money from them, as we said. It could also be their personal information, their address, their phone number, their bank account details. Okay. Or it could even be something that we don't really think of as scams, such as like items in a game. It could be someone trying to trick you into giving them stuff on Roblox for free. If they do that and they trick you out of items, well, that's also a scam. That's also wrong and unfair to do to someone. So scams can often happen online and they've become very, very common on the internet when we're using any sort of technology because that other person is hidden behind a screen. They're they sort of feel anonymous. They feel invincible from you because they're so far away. But of course, they can happen offline too. They happen in real life. People scam each other in person. Now, when we see these scams online, they can make us feel a whole bunch of different emotions. Okay, maybe we feel excited or curious about some tempting offer that has come up on our screen. Okay, maybe we've won something and that's very exciting. Maybe we start to feel nervous or worried and unsure about something that we've seen. It's possible that you'd get upset or angry that someone has tricked you. Or after we've fallen for a scam, it's very normal for us to feel alone and embarrassed that that has happened to us. But being scammed is something that can happen to anybody. And it's important to remember it's not your fault if you were tricked online. The sort of people that scam you, well, they're not good people, are they? And those people are very good at doing what they do. They're very talented at scamming. That's why they manage to get you to do it and why they get away with it a lot of the time. So it's completely normal for us to feel a mix of emotions when we see something like this online and maybe when we fall for something like this online. But we have to remember that we're not on our own. This happens to millions of people every single day. And there's always a way to make things feel better, even after you've been tricked by a scam. And one of those things is talking to trusted adults that you feel comfortable sharing the things you've done or seen online with. Okay, these adults could be your parents or carers. They could be grandparents, aunties, uncles, older brothers and sisters, sports club leaders if you play some sport outside of school, or any other sort of club leader. Maybe you're in the Scouts or St. John's Ambulance. Um, if you're, you could even feel comfortable sharing with your teacher or maybe the teaching assistant in your class. Whoever it may be that you feel like you have that trusted connection with, that you could tell that person if you've seen something online that made you feel nervous or made you feel unsure, or something that you think you shouldn't have seen, and something you think that has tricked you if you've fallen for something, then it's important for us to reach out to those people and tell them. Okay, it's important that everyone feels safe online. Now, Hugh, can you think of any ways you can stay safe, even if you did see a scam online?
Oh, I think the one that came to mind instantly is the one that you've been discussing now, to be honest, Dan. Make sure that you tell a trusted adult, maybe if something makes you feel uncertain. So if anything seems, as we said, too good to be true, then it probably is too good to be true. So it's a very wise and very good idea to discuss something like that with an adult, just to double check maybe where the need might arise. And the other one, of course, is to keep things like your passwords very secure. Don't share them with anyone unless again you maybe trust a particular adult to do so with.
Absolutely. That's really good advice, Hugh. So I think Hugh said something very, very important there, which is looking for signs that something is a scam. Does it seem too good to be true? If you go to a website and you get a pop-up saying, "Oh, you're the fifth million person to come to this website, you've won £1 million." It's probably too good to be true, isn't it? We're not that lucky that just by visiting a website we get given £1 million. I wish I was, but I think that's too true, especially considering how often those messages come up. Um, and also, yeah, keeping our personal information, whether that's your name, the school you go to, your email address, your phone number, your bank details, or your usernames and passwords. Keep them safe and keep them private. No one will ever phone you or email you from some company asking for that information. Okay, you will never get a Lloyd's Bank call you up and say, "Oh, can you give me your bank details over the phone?" They don't need to do that. They wouldn't do that. So it's important that we never share that information with people because that's our private information. And that's a good way that someone can scam us. Also, we shouldn't just randomly click on links and pop-ups and messages that come up on our computer if we don't know what they are or who they're from. If something you're not sure about, it's best to avoid it and don't start clicking it and trying to find out what it is. And as Hugh said, the most important thing here is to talk to a trusted adult, especially if you're worried, you're upset, or you're unsure. Now, when this stuff happens to us, we generally don't want to talk about it, do we? If we feel embarrassed or anxious because we feel we've fallen for a scam, then you often don't want to tell anyone that because you feel embarrassed. And that's completely normal. But the only way that you can help, the only way you can get help is to talk to someone. And so that's the most important first step, is having that conversation. Now, my challenge for you all over the next week before our next assembly, I want everyone to ask the adults that you feel you can trust if they've ever seen an online scam. Remember, this can be your parents, your aunties and uncles, your brothers and sisters, your leaders in the community, your teachers or teaching assistants, anyone you feel comfortable having this conversation with. I want you to go and I want you to ask them, what scams have they seen and what did they look like? Did they fall for it? I guarantee you, you know someone close to you who has fallen for a scam. I certainly do know more than one person who has fallen for online scams. It's a very normal thing to happen. As I said, it happens to millions of people every day. So, what did they look like? Did they fall for it? And ask them what you should be looking out for when when you're online. What might you see that indicates it's a scam? And then, as a class, I want you to come together with all the stuff that you've heard. And I want you to put together a list of top tips for detecting scams. And next week, we will share those top tips with everyone in the next assembly and see how we can all stay safe online. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Dan. That was a lot of really good and useful information. So if we can go on to the next slide, please, and we'll see Dan's challenge there at the top left of the page. What we'll do after this assembly is send this page out to every teacher who's logged into the session this morning so that you're able to access all of the resources you can see on screen at the moment. So it'll arrive shortly after the assembly. And as you can see there, Dan's challenge is top left. So if you scan that QR code, it would take you to a Padlet page where you can contribute your top tips, your class's top tips for how to detect the scam in order to try and stay away from them and stay safe from them in the first place. Or otherwise, you can use the resources that are readily available on Hub, all provided and created by the UK Safer Internet Centre. You can see there age-specific examples for 3 to 7-year-olds and 7 to 11-year-olds. So lots of good ideas there for teachers. And if you do take part in any of these challenges or use any of the resources, please let us know through social media. You can tag us on Facebook or X or Instagram, whichever one your school uses, in order to share your tasks and what goes on in your school. And also, you'll be able to replay the quiz. We're about to play live now. So if you want to go back and try and beat your score from the live session, you'll be able to do so during the week before next Tuesday. So, and the plan, as Dan said, next Tuesday morning, the same time again on Safer Internet Day at 10 a.m., is that we want to share what you've been getting up to. We want to celebrate the learning that's been taking place since this first assembly today.